Great. So welcome everyone. I know we still have a few folks joining us. We'll just continue to let everyone into the room. My name is Julia Allworth. I'm the manager of Innovation Hub, and my leadership team and I are here today to welcome you and tell you a little bit more about our work. So to get us started, before we do any introductions, we're going to take care of a few housekeeping items. So I'll just invite Hayley to get us started with our land acknowledgement.
Thanks, Julia. So we're going to get into our land acknowledgement. So we'd like to kick off today's session, like we kick off all of our sessions with the land acknowledgement. And land acknowledgements are an important part of the work that we do here. Recognizing the land that we're on is an expression of our gratitude and appreciation for the land that we reside on and work on, and what it has given us. So this land acknowledgement that you see here has been co-created with the University of Toronto and the community here. So it reads, I and we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So I encourage you to think about, no matter where you are in the world, your relationship to the land that you reside on and work on and live on. The image that you see here is an image that's important to me. So in reflection of the land that I live on, this image is from Lidiia Park. It's an important place to me because I see this as a space of community and where my loved ones get together and we watch the sunset. I really like that you can see the trees, the natural environment, and the built environment. And I see this image as a place of community and people coming together. So I encourage you to think about what the land you're on means to you and your relationship with it as well. So another one of our commitments is to accessibility. So we're also going to begin, like we begin our other workshops and sessions, with an access check. So we understand that access is a shared responsibility between everyone in the space. We will strive to create an accessible space that reduces the need for you to disclose a disability or impairment for the purposes of gaining an accommodation. In doing this together, we strive to welcome disability and the changes it brings into our space. So I'm just going to open up the conversation. If there's anything about the space that we should address now, feel free to let us know. You can pop it in the chat or send us an email. We have Ruth is moderating our chat as well, so I may not see it, but please feel free to let us know if there's anything that needs to be addressed now, as well throughout the session. If there's anything that comes up, feel free to let us know. Okay, with that, we can get into our agenda. Pass it back to you.
So we're going to start with a welcome and some introductions of our team. And then we're going to dive into a bit of an overview of who we are in the Innovation Hub. We're going to talk a little bit about design thinking, which is our primary methodology that we use for all of our research projects and our work. We're going to share a little bit about what's coming up in this term, and then finally get to the nitty-gritty of how to apply for a job at the Innovation Hub, and we'll definitely save some time for Q&A at the end. So with that, let's get started with some introductions. We have a number of members of our leadership team here today. And actually, we also want to know who is here from the university. So for everyone on the call, minus the leadership team, while we're introducing ourselves, we would love for you to share with us in the chat your name and pronouns if you'd like, and the program that you're taking at U of T, or who you are at U of T. And just a quick reminder as housekeeping items, as I mentioned in the beginning, this session is being recorded. And please mute yourself if you aren't speaking. And we will save time at the end for questions. And if and you're welcome to put questions at any time in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end. And we welcome your videos on, but it's definitely not required. So we'd love to see you, but certainly if you're more comfortable keeping them off, that is completely fine. So please, who's going to break the ice and introduce yourself in the chat, but we'll be watching of who's there. Thanks. Great for getting it started there. And now we'll introduce our leadership team. So as I mentioned, my name is Julia. I'm the manager of the Innovation Hub, and I have been since 2016 when we launched. And I'll turn it over to, I'll just call on them name by name. I know not everyone is here, but Lidiia, would you like to go next?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. My name is Lidiia. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm research lead here at the Innovation Hub. Very excited to see you all here. And I'm actually a graduate from the University of Toronto as well. I studied anthropology, very exciting subject. And yeah, I'll pass it to Hayley.
Thanks, Lidiia. Hi, everyone. My name is Hayley. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Senior Project Assistant and Communications Lead at the Innovation Hub, and I graduated from UTM. I studied Communications, Culture, Information, and Technology, and I also had a certificate in Digital Communications from Sheridan College.
Thanks, Hayley. And Amelia is away today, but Amelia DeMeo is our research coordinator. She's a grad of multiple programs at U of T and also has been with us for a little while. And I'll turn it to Joseph to introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. I'm Joseph. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the Digital Communications Coordinator here at the Innovation Hub. And I'm a graduate from UTM and Sheridan College in Communications, Culture, Information, Technology, as well as Art and Art History.
Great, thanks, Joseph. And next we have Ruth.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruth. My pronouns are she, her. At the Innovation Hub, I am the research lead and program coordinator for the Arts and Science University of Toronto Quality Assurance Process. There's an acronym there for you. At U of T, I'm studying my Master's of Education in Social Justice Education.
Thanks, Ruth. Next we have Daksha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daksha. I use she, her, or hers pronouns. I'm the design research team lead for the reception experiences at Health and Wellness project. I did my undergrad in mathematics and linguistics, and I'm a recent graduate in the Master of Information program specializing in user experience design.
Great, thanks, Daksha. Is Nicole here?
Yeah, I'm here. All right. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm Nicole. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the design team lead for the project Engagement and Belonging for students with disabilities. I'm also a graduate of U of T. I did my major in Contemporary Asian Studies, and I minored in poli-sci and philosophy.
Thanks, Nicole. Next, we have Antique.
Hi, everyone. My name is Antique. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the design research team lead for the EDIA, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Access at the School of the Environment. I'm currently a Master of Education student at OISE, specializing in educational leadership and policy. I look forward to seeing many of you this fall.
Thanks, Antique. And the rest of our leadership team is not on the call today. We have Katrina, who is our qualitative data archivist team lead, has also been, is also a student at U of T and has also been a member of our team for quite some time, as well as a few new positions, UI UX team lead, audiovisual storytelling team lead, and arts and science team coordinator for our partnership with the University of Toronto Quality Assurance program, and we are extending offers to folks very shortly for those roles. So we're very, very excited to be with you today. To dive right in, I would love to give you an overview of the Innovation Hub and who we are and what we do. So you might be asking, what is the Innovation Hub? Well, hopefully if you found your way here, you know a little bit about us, but we are part of the University of Toronto. We're situated actually within the Division of Student Life at the University of Toronto St. George campus, but we do serve all campuses. And we are a student-driven research collective taking a peer-to-peer approach to understanding students. We empower interdisciplinary student teams employing human-centered design thinking, which we're going to talk a little bit more about today. And our partners are real U of T divisions and departments who give us real design projects to help us better understand student experiences. And our work really does lead to meaningful change in our community. We have a mission, vision, and values that have been co-created with our teams over the years. So our mission is to improve campus life through student-centric design. Let's go to the next slide there. Thank you. And our vision is a campus experience designed for every student to flourish academically, socially, and personally. And some of our values include accessibility by design. We try to bring accessibility to everything that we do. It's always a work in progress, as is equity, diversity, and inclusion. We're always striving to be better in these areas. We like to listen to student experiences and use the data to inspire others. But probably most importantly, as a team, we really love to learn together. And so we're really committed to ongoing learning. We have 5 what we call domains of innovation, and you'll see them depicted here on the screen. These domains give scope to our work. It's basically every project that we work on falls into one of these 5 domains, which are written in an aspirational way to discuss sort of how we envision our campus or University of Toronto in the future. So they are access for every student. So not just access to education, but access to all of the programs, services, and resources that one needs to succeed in education. Fostering connectedness, both between students and each other, but also between students and the university more broadly. Future ready students is all about that feeling confident about one's future, whatever that might be. It might be a career or further education or something else. We have integrated learning experiences, which is really about how the classroom learning connects to real life and whole student development. So that's that 8 dimensions of well-being. How can we support students in being well while they complete their university degrees? And on the next slide, we'll see that our why we exist really is to improve campus life for students. That is our main purpose. And what we do, well, we definitely talk to a lot of students. We document student stories, which in turn foster empathy amongst key decision makers and stakeholders, where we try to really humanize strategy and planning efforts that ultimately will drive change. So we work with the university to create change on campus by building empathy. And some of the ways, some of the how that we do it are on the outside, but it's certainly not an exhaustive list. And I should just mention at this point that we definitely will share the recording and the slides with you after today's presentation in case you want to come back to any of them. Just want to touch briefly on equity. It's a topic that I can speak about for quite a bit of time, but I will just briefly mention that a big part of the work that we do is about trying to bring more equity to the University of Toronto. And so we really try to embody the principles of equity, diversity, and inclusion in everything that we do. I will always say that we do this imperfectly. It's a work in progress. And one of the greatest ways that we grow in this area is actually our team members and the students that we talk to challenging us to do better, to do things differently. So we've learned a lot over the years, but I can say that we really, as a place of employment, but also as a place where students come in to tell their stories, we strive to be a safer space where people can really be themselves, and where we can really have respect for the dignity of all people. To speak a little bit to some of our recent projects to give you a taste of some work that we've completed. And there are going to be some exciting projects coming up this year as well. So the first one is the Commuter Student Spaces project. This was a project throughout last year that we worked on in collaboration with Spaces and Experiences, who was looking to design more spaces on campus that were particularly intended for commuter students. And we looked deeply at some of the challenges that commuter students face, and we're able to produce a report and presentation that will inform the development of new spaces for commuters on campus. And we were able to really dive deep into their stories and get to some of their needs. So it's worth a look. We also have an ongoing partnership with the Family Care Office where we continually look at the experiences of students who are also parents. This is a really important population and demographic of our student body that faces unique challenges. And so in speaking to a number of student parents last year, we were able to really better understand their experiences and what they need and communicate that to the university. We also worked last year with Sport and Rec to think about how we could reimagine increasing access in beginner programs. That was a really great project that is already leading to a lot of change in Sport and Rec program and service offerings. And thank you so much. I can see from Ruth, she's posted things in the chat, so that is great. I'm going to transition on to talking just a little bit of about design thinking, and I'm going to have to restrain myself because this is a topic that I really like to talk about. But of course, if you join the Innovation Hub and you come to work for us, you'll learn a lot more about design thinking. But for now, I will just say there are two things that I love to say about design thinking, and neither of them are uniquely mine. These are all borrowed from experts in the field. But why do we use design thinking? What is it all about? Well, it's really about designing with people rather than for them. So it's about bringing people into a design process. Before coming to the Innovation Hub, I sat around a lot of tables of staff who talked about what students need without students in the room. And we really, in design thinking, believe in bringing students into the process and designing with them. And why would we do that? Well, ultimately, it's because people support what they create. So in design thinking, when the ultimate people who are going to be the beneficiaries of a product or a service or a resource are involved in the design process, the likelihood that they're going to become users of that product or outcome or output are higher. So people do support what they create. And that's really what design thinking is all about. Our design research is really human-centered. So people are really foundational to what we do here. You can see some pictures of some of our teams working together over the years. We try to have as much fun as possible, but we really do try to first and foremost put the emphasis on people. That's what design thinking is all about. It's about building empathy for people. And so when we talk about design research, our method is very much human-centered. We also try to have a lot of fun at work, and we believe that we're a space for creativity and imagination. And you can see some of the creative work and some of the ways in which we are able to have fun together while building and designing. And that's really what we're all about. So if you're someone who is creative and imaginative, this is a great space for you to be. And I'll just really briefly speak about some of the tangible changes that have been made as a result of our work. This certainly isn't an exhaustive list, but on the next slide, we'll see that we were part of a group researching libraries, which ultimately led to some concepts and some ideas for the redesign of the Robarts Library 4th floor. Hopefully by now many of you have been there, but if you haven't visited it, it's a great place to be. We also worked with the Academic Integrity Office to develop a campaign to support the university in helping students know what resources are available to them to be able to learn with integrity. And we were able to develop a campaign all about it's okay to ask for help and draw on some of the university's resources around that. So you can check that out online too. And finally, some of our early work led to something called Chill Spots. We have the Clara Benson Pool Gallery as an example of one of them that we helped to build the concept behind the design. But you will see these chill spots popping up all over campus, and that was based on a lot of our work that showed that students really across campus just need places to be. Study space is great, but being able to have spaces to hang out, to warm up lunch, do those sorts of things. So these are just a few examples of some of the tangible ways that our work has made a difference. So I'd love to turn it over to Lidiia to talk a little bit more about what's coming up this fall winter.
Of course. So let's get started. we are going to do a little activity before we talk about all about the hiring and the position that we have available here at the Innovation Hub. So Ruth has sent a link to this mural board in the chat. So I'll ask everyone who is in the room to click on the link and access the mural board where we will put design thinking in action. So the question that we are asking you, and I would like to see your reflections on the board, is what's important to you in a work study role. So if you click the link, you don't need to register. You just feel free to use the link just as a visitor. If you want, you can insert your name. It's completely fine with us. Let's see. So, okay, I see people typing in. Great, awesome. So please continue typing and share your reflections. And the reason why we're doing this activity is because design thinking is all about collaboration, right? So here we're really trying to now even practice collaborating with each other and sharing our thoughts, brainstorming on a mural board. And here at the Innovation Hub, you'll see we're using this kind of virtual boards or sometimes even whiteboards a lot just to share a collective thought on a certain subject. So we'll move on with the presentation, but we'll definitely come back to this board, and then I'll ask Hayley to summarize some of the reflections that you folks are sharing. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, let's talk about why work at the Innovation Hub, right? So working in the Innovation Hub is actually, it's a very unique opportunity. I joined Innovation Hub a while ago, and I learned a lot from all of the positions that I occupy. But as it says on the slide here, again, it's an opportunity to gain experience outside of the classroom or degree. So here's a work study role, and at the same time as you know, learning about design thinking, right? We're doing a lot of workshops and all that. You're also practicing, actually applying your learnings onto actually a real project, as Julia was mentioning, and we'll cover a couple of projects that are coming up this year a little bit later in the presentation. But also it's a hands-on experience with qualitative research, working with stakeholder and partners, and community-based programs. It also a meaningful and supportive working and learning environment. So here again, we're trying to balance giving you a work experience at the same time as a learning experience, right? So for some of you, it might be your first part-time job, right? And here our goal is to really build your skills in a real working environment, and at the same time also recognize that you are a student and you're balancing work with school, right? And finally, it's about being able to connect with students from across the university and learn about new opportunities. So here, once you become a part of the Innovation Hub family, you are exposed to so many different opportunities within the university, but also outside of the university, right? We have a lot of mentorship programming here in the Innovation Hub, and we really try to support you a lot during your contract, but also beyond this, right? So we have your learning journey and all the different kind of programming to really saturate your experience here with us and level up your skills, and also help you understand and maybe learn a little bit more about yourself and who you are as a worker, right? And then moving on to the next slide, I just want to quickly share what our team looks like. So here we have a slide with the Innovation Hub team. As you can see, it's a very big team, and I can't wait to see you being a part of it. So just very briefly, operations team, it's Hayley, me, and Julia, and then we have currently 3 design thinking research projects that are all happening. So EDIA, engagement with belonging for students with disabilities, and reception experiences at Health and Wellness. We also have UI, UX, and the audiovisual storytelling team, right? And every single team has a team lead, and then the team members on that team. We also have qualitative data archivist team, right? And then community engagement team, and finally communications team. And that big part of the chart that you can also see at the bottom right is the University of Toronto Faculty of Arts and Science Quality Assurance Process. That's the one that Ruth is managing, and we have a lot of positions available there as well. And as you can see, some of the circles there, they have photographs, but the ones that do not, we are hiring for these positions. So you have an opportunity to join pretty much every single team that you see on the screen here. So moving forward, let's talk about, again, why work at Innovation Hub and the qualities that we look for. So hopefully I got you a little bit excited about just the atmosphere, the environment that we have here at Innovation Hub. So let me share a couple of tips and tricks, what we are looking for from you in the resume, in the cover letter, because both are very, very important. So these are some of many elements that we look for in application. And again, I want to emphasize that everyone is different. And what I really want to highlight is that having the openness to grow, to learn new things, and willing to be iterative and responsive to feedback, or the things that might, we might not expect to come up in the project board, is really something that is important to us. So it's all a learning experience, but having an interest in student experience and also contributing in your own way, your unique way, is really something that goes a long way here. But of course, the passion, the taking initiative, respectful to other stories and perspectives, and then being just open to failure, being able to learn, right, and be open to that, being responsive. We really love folks who are really investing in the space and in their work here at the iHub, because the more you invest, the more you will take out of this experience, right? So, and also we're looking for someone who is looking for new experiences, and of course, who's organized, accountable, right? It's a real work place. And finally, someone who asks questions. We love people who ask questions, because this is how you can really initiate and show us that you are really curious and you really own your work and you really care about the project. Okay, so let me inspire you a little bit more and talk about a couple of projects that are already happening here. So projects for the fall and winter 2024 and 2025. So for the engagement and belonging student, for students with disabilities. So I will just share very brief blurbs, but also you can find a little bit more information about each of these projects on our website. So for the first one, essentially accessibility services at U of T seeks to gain an understanding about factors that enable students with disabilities to fully engage in campus life and identify where gaps exist. So the project here aims to understand students' needs, to identify tangible ideas, and champion access and inclusion for students with disabilities. Next one is EDIA. So it's Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Access at the School of Environment. So the School of Environment at U of T Faculty of Arts and Science seeks to understand how equity, diversity, inclusion, and access in the School of Environment, essentially the project aims to gain a meaningful understanding of student perspectives to better champion EDIA so that student experiences are enhanced. And then finally, we have reception experiences at Health and Wellness. So Health and Wellness at U of T, we partner with them as well, and they seek to improve student experiences with the frontline reception team. So the project here aims to look at all possible interaction points with reception across various communication formats at various points in time. So it's a very UX project, and the findings of the project will inform programming and improve service delivery in the future. Okay, and then finally, we have a couple of more projects. So family-friendly U of T project. Here for this project, we're continuing our work with the Family Care Office to develop an online resource for the U of T community that helps them better support student parents and bring family-friendly activity into their spaces. And finally, on this slide, international students life after U of T. So we're actually really excited to be working with the Office of the VP International and the Center for International Experience again, because we worked with them already. And this year we're working on the second documentary. So it's going to be a very creative project too. And this will follow the stories of 5 international students as they endeavor upon life after U of T. Okay, so finally, we got to the slide about the all the kind of different opportunities that you can explore here at Innovation Hub, and these are work study roles for this upcoming academic year. So as you can see, the first 4 roles are design and research roles for the projects that I currently mentioned, and you will be placed on a team of 3 to 4 people, and you'll be working alongside with the team lead to work on a design thinking project. And then I want to briefly mention a couple of things about each of the role, but again, we can also post a link to the iHub work study. Yes, thank you, Ruth, to the iHub work study website, where you can learn about each role a little bit more. But as for team coordinator, so team coordinator supports the team to work together to plan and carry out data collection and analysis, preparing a report and presenting findings to the program or unit senior academic team. And team coordinator is working specifically for QAP project and collaborating with Ruth, who is a QAP research lead and program coordinator. So as for quantitative data analyst and also qualitative data archivist, they work alongside Ruth and myself as well, and they're mostly focusing on the UTQAP project. And for the quant, here we go. For the quant role, you'll be working a lot with quantitative data, and sometimes we're looking for people who are knowledgeable in Python and things like that. If you have this experience, definitely include it on your resume. For the qualitative data archivist, we work a lot with a program that is called Deduce, and but also we train you how to use this program. So no worries if that's your first time hearing this program. And then we have community engagement designer and event facilitator. So this team is essentially the heart of the Innovation Hub, and they work to create community across our large and multidisciplinary team. And this is just a passionate group of students who bring life to the Innovation Hub with lots of events that are happening here. And again, very briefly, digital storytellers or graphic designers, they work on creating imagery and infographics for our projects. Web designers, they work on the direction of the digital communications coordinator and work on the website. Then we have videographer and photographer, obviously taking photos for the Innovation Hub here in the space and working on the projects, collaborating with the team leads. And then we have a blog editor and content writer. So we have an opportunity for you if you love writing. We we have a blog that you can contribute to. And finally, there's a position of audio visual storytelling assistant. And this is all about really logistical planning for audiovisual projects, such as documentaries, podcasts, and other audiovisual projects. All right. So here, let's see what you said for the question, what's important to you in a work study role. So Hayley, if you would like to take it away from here and summarize for us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lidiia. I think from taking an initial glance at this board, you all are people who really, really love to learn, which I love to see. I think you're totally in the right place for that. So I'm seeing a lot of mentorship, professional development, skill refinement. I see a lot of learning from others, learning from your peers. You're really looking for a supportive environment, which you absolutely will find at the Innovation Hub. And more than anything, you're looking for real experience and opportunities to create real life change. And I think that's one of the most rewarding parts about working at the Innovation Hub over somewhere else, is that you really get to dive into real world projects and see change come to life in a way that's really unique, and at the same time directly connecting with the student community, which I find is really, really meaningful and fulfilling. So there's a lot of learning here. I also see community as a big theme. So you really want to meet people, you really want to build connections, networking, peer-to-peer learning. I see connections as a really big topic here as well. I also see diversity in culture as one. So I see meeting people from diverse backgrounds. I see community learning. I see diversity and inclusion. So I really love to see that as well. And also creativity. I think that's a really exciting one. There's so many opportunities to be creative at the Innovation Hub. And I find that you really get push the envelope of what creativity even means to you. Even for myself, I'm finding new ways every single day to be creative and to rethink what that looks like for me. So I think you'll really find creative fulfillment in any role at the Innovation Hub, whether it's design researcher, communications, qualitative data archivist, no matter what it is, you'll find opportunities to be creative. And you really, really will get to learn no matter what you do and no matter what role interests you. So that's what I'm seeing, and I want to say thank you all for participating in this little activity and showing us sort of what's important to you, and I definitely will take a closer look at this later on to see what else interests you as well. So thank you. Okay, so now we're going to jump into probably what you're most excited for, is how do you apply for the Innovation Hub? We've given you all this information, and I'm sure you're ready to just go ahead and apply. So let's talk a little bit about the application process at a glance and what that looks like for you. So the way that we receive your application is through a Microsoft form. You may have seen this Microsoft form already, but this Microsoft form is where we will collect all of your availability, some of your contact information, and as well, there will be a space for you to upload your resume and cover letter. I will say we ask that you can combine your resume and cover letter into one file. It makes it easier for us to review. So when you take a look at that form, you can see all of our different roles. We also encourage you to look a little bit closely at the job descriptions and find something that really interests you and apply for as many as you like. One thing that we'll say is that you apply through one submission of the Microsoft form, and that has you be considered for all of the roles that we have available. So we like to take a holistic approach to our hiring, and that means essentially if we think that your skill set will be really good in another role, we might consider you for that role as well. So you apply once and you're considered for all roles that we're offering at this time. And then once you find a position you're interested, you select them, you'll submit your application to us. We have set August 4th as the deadline for applications. We will be accepting applications from now until August 4th. So we would encourage you to apply and encourage you to apply as soon as you possibly can. And we don't recommend that you wait to the deadline. So August 4th at 11:59 is our deadline for applications. From there, we will be scheduling screenings and eventually interviews after the application submission period. So you can look out for an email from us regarding that. We will begin with 15-minute screening calls. And then finally, selected candidates will attend a team-wide training on September 6, 2024. This is our super exciting work study orientation. It's a full-day event, and we have a ton of fun at these. So something to keep in mind and to look ahead into your calendar to see if you're available for now. Okay, and next I want to give you a couple helpful tips in thinking about your application. So firstly, as I mentioned, you apply for one application, one Microsoft form, and you're considered for all of our roles. But indicate as many roles as you are interested in, and we really recommend that you tailor your application towards the roles that you're applying for. For example, in your cover letter, in your resume, tailor your experiences and your skills that you're writing about to the job that you're applying for. With that, I would recommend that you read applications carefully. If you go to navigate to our website, you will find also all of our job descriptions. I would encourage you to read those in good detail when applying. That will help you tailor your application, but also so that we're all on the same page about what the role would entail for you. With that, check out our website to learn more about our work. Our website is an amazing resource to learn so many things about design research and our impact on the community and the roles that we offer. So we can have Ruth pop our link in the chat here for our website. But I really recommend checking out our website, read our blog. Our blog is amazing. Shout out to our blog team to learn more about what we do and sort of what you can expect from joining our Innovation Hub team. The next point I can't stress enough is to make sure that you're eligible for the work study program. So because we're hiring work study opportunities, it's super important that you're eligible as per the work study program guidelines. So we would encourage you to read those as well. You can read more about the work study program eligibility on CLNX, but also through your registrar. And then think about the length of your application, be succinct, be clear, be intentional with what you tell us. We really enjoy reading your applications and learning more about you. So think of your resumes and your cover letters as a way for us to learn more about you. And finally, share, why do you want to be part of our team? I find this is the most exciting part of all, is when reviewing applications, we get to really learn why you want to join our team and what part of our work resonates with you the most. So that's super exciting for us to hear. So we would encourage you to elaborate as much as you feel comfortable about why you want to join our team and what is the driving factor for you. Okay, and I just want to provide a little bit more of a logistical overview about the work study program in terms of the requirements and sort of what that program looks like for students. So actually, the work study program has over 5,000 students that participate in it every single year, which is amazing. It's a truly, truly wonderful program. There is so much that you can learn from any work study role. And it's no surprise that so many students participate in it every year. Another benefit of the work study program is that
from September to March.
Sorry, I'm just going to mute you. Another benefit of the co-curricular record work study program is its co-curricular record recognized. And that essentially means that when you complete your work study program, you will get a notation on your CCR record that says that you have completed the program. And that is something that you get as part of a work study program, which is very exciting. So it goes on your official CCR transcript. As well, the work study program is a great opportunity to deepen your knowledge, strengthen your skills, and really explore how your academic studies can translate into career possibilities. So many people try out different work study opportunities as ways to test out the waters for their future careers, or they try something in a work study role that leads them to a career that they never thought about. So I find that that's a really cool opportunity where you get to test out a certain set of skills and experiences in a really supportive and collaborative environment, and you take that with you into your careers when you graduate, no matter what point you are in your academic career. So of course, there's tons of professional development opportunities that you can find in a work study role. A notable one, as Lidiia mentioned, for us is our learning journey conversations, where we sort of do these one-on-one coaching conversations 3 times throughout your contract with your supervisor, and we find that those are really amazing professional development opportunities. And as well with the work study program, again, just to note that you must be eligible for the work study program. In terms of some other details about the program, the work study pay is set at $16.55 per hour as per the guidelines from the work study department. And we estimate that you will work about 6 to 8 hours per week in your roles. These aren't guaranteed hours, so they might fluctuate as the projects ebb and flow. There might be some weeks where you're working a little less, sometimes you're working a little bit more, but just for your planning, we average about 6 to 8 hours per week. And with the work study contract, you're looking at 200 hours for the duration of the entire contract. So when you start in September to when you end in March, you have 200 hours to work with, and your supervisor will help you manage your hours and get them to a point where it's very consistent from week to week. Okay, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we are working this term. So a huge benefit of working at the Innovation Hub is that it's fully in person. In-person work is really amazing for collaboration, and we find so much of our collaboration and innovation at the Innovation Hub comes from working together in the same space. And we really can't oversell just how valuable that experience is. Having everyone together and having ideas just fly out of in-person conversations is really important to us. So we say that applicants must be able to work in person at our St. George campus location. We're located at 230 College Street, as well in the Student Life building. The in-person requirements are for team meetings, any project work, and additional events. There may be times when we make accommodations, of course, and there may be times when we do any remote work, but that generally we ask that everyone is available to come work in person. We have this wonderful space, as you can see in this image, where it's really surprising just how many ideas come out of this one little room. And you'll find that it's just a really great place to connect with people from across teams as well. And we use Microsoft Teams and Outlook for communication between meetings. And the last thing that I'll talk about is the technology requirements. So we ask that everyone comes with their own personal device or laptop. It's very important when we're collaborating and co-working in the same space that we all have access to a device. And then for communications roles, more specifically our graphic design roles, we ask that you have Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. Adobe Illustrator is what we use to create all of our icons and our graphics, and InDesign is what we will use when we create our final reports. So it's important that everyone has access to that software so that we can all collaborate. Okay, and then I just wanted to talk a little bit about some important dates and information. So we mentioned August 4th. August 4th at 11:59 is the deadline to apply. So make sure you get all your applications in by then. Apply to the Innovation Hub today by submitting your application through the Microsoft form. You can navigate to our webpage by following this link here, uft.me/ihubworkstudy. And if you scroll down after reading all of our roles and some of the information, at the bottom, you can find a link to the Microsoft form. As well, we would encourage you to subscribe to our blog and stay up to date with some of the things that we have happening at the Innovation Hub, so that there is a link to our blog. And then finally, after this session, you will receive a recording of this event so you can watch back the slides to your convenience. And there'll also be a link in there to directly apply. And until then, we would encourage you to explore CLNX for more information about the work study program and any resources that you can use to help your application. Okay, I'm going to pass it back to Julia, but also open up the space for questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone. This is great. And I just wanted to thank everyone for your contributions in the mural. At this point, I think what we'll do is we'll close out the session and stop the recording. So we can just go to the next slide so you can see how to get in touch with us. Here's a QR code if you want to get directly to that link, and that link is housed on our website, so you can check it out, you can look at the blog, you can learn more about what we do. We always love it when folks apply who know more about what we do. And I think what we'll do now is we will stop the recording so that we can take your questions.